It's Yay, we're all here.
Angela, how you doing?
Okay.
So nice to see you. A beautiful day. Hello, Alia. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It's a beautiful day in paradise, isn't it?
It is.
Yay. I got to go to surgery in an hour.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I have to go say hi. So sorry I missed you guys, but we're here.
We're here.
Roxanne, Coach Amy Bacon, Goyer, awesome. We got Cheryl Camp, Jana. Let's see, Kelly, the Missouri Carnivore. Brian, thanks all for stopping in. Amy's here. I see Lewis. I got to go. Let's see, Brian, Kelly, and where are you at today, Angela?
I live in Appomattox, Virginia.
Awesome. And Ali is in Colombia.
I'm in Colombia.
Yeah, we got. And what are we talking about today, Alia?
Angela's story. I have a little video for Angela.
Okay.
We'd love to start with videos, and don't forget, everyone, make your comments where you're at in this world, and we're gonna start it off, right, Alia?
We're starting it right now.
All right.
Let's see. Here we go.
Angela Mullins was living with 5 separate autoimmune diseases, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and a 45 millimeter chest aneurysm that was actively growing. Her grandfather had died from an aneurysm when he was exactly 49 years old. For Angela, the biological clock was quite literally ticking. To understand the origin of her metabolic struggle, we have to look back at the environment she grew up in, a traditional Southern household where biscuits, potatoes, corn, and beans were served at almost every meal. When she was just 4 years old, her mother worried she was too small. By age 6, a doctor intervened, placing Angela on her very first diet and strictly limiting her to 1 starch per meal. That early medicalization of her food sparked a lifelong cycle of restriction. These programs monitored her weight for decades, while the underlying physiological health of her body continued to decline. She spent decades navigating commercial weight loss rules, moving through systems like Weight Watchers and Deal-A-Meal. Over the years, the toll of unmanaged systemic inflammation began breaking down her body. By adulthood, this manifested as severe, chronic joint and hip pain. The pain eventually required the use of heavy opioids. She relied on oxycodone just to function, a medication that caused such intense itching it left permanent scarring on her face. She was caught in a brutal daily tension, numbing, agonizing physical pain while desperately wanting the mobility to stay present and active for her family. The standard approach to dieting offered no solutions for her condition. Caloric restriction could not provide the physiological stability her body required to survive. Her first major dietary shift arrived in 2006, prompted by her husband's cancer diagnosis. Looking for ways to fight his illness, they discovered the paleo diet and committed to eliminating sugar and grains from their meals. She maintained those protocols for years, but despite her exhaustive efforts to support his health, her husband passed away in 2018. The grief of losing him triggered massive flare-ups in her own autoimmune conditions. Left in escalating pain, she began a post-loss search for genuine medical answers. This search was anchored by a single goal. She wanted to stay alive and remain physically capable for her 12 grandchildren. Her nutritional goals had shifted from a search for weight loss to a direct defense against the medical history of her family. This chart maps her dietary evolution alongside her levels of systemic inflammation. Moving from a standard low-carb approach into keto starts to bring the curve down. The drop continues as she shifts into a ketovore approach. By eliminating specific plant toxins, she removed the triggers that caused her autoimmune flare-ups. The final turning point arrived in late 2023. Supported by an online medical community, she adopted a strict high-fat carnivore diet, and her inflammation markers reached their lowest point. Her medical markers began to shift in quick succession. First, her chronic kidney disease and her liver issues resolved. Next, lupus and celiac symptoms vanished, and neutrophil counts finally normalized. The severe chronic hip pain disappeared. She permanently stopped taking oxycodone. Her most critical medical victory followed. Her life-threatening chest aneurysm stopped growing and has remained stable for 4 consecutive years. A strict high-fat carnivore protocol dismantled the biological triggers of her diseases, replacing decades of painful confusion with nutritional simplicity. Angela recently turned 60. She has officially outlived the age her grandfather was when his aneurysm took his life. She is now transforming her experience with medical trauma into emotional resilience, training to become a health coach to help others escape the same cycle. This outlines her foundational advice. Rule 1. Start simple with meat, fat, salt, and water. Rule 2. Prioritize high fat to reduce inflammation. Rule 3. Expect gradual, layered healing. Rule 4. Track how your body feels daily, rather than just lab results. Angela's journey shows that consistent biological support can reclaim a future once dominated by chronic autoimmune flare.
There you go.
That sums up, my life. The only correction would be, it was 2016, not 2006. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, my husband and I were only married 2 years before he died.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Angela, what's your husband's name?
It was David.
David is with us right now. And I've got pictures of my brothers and sisters that are with me in spirit, and I keep them there because we are spiritual beings. And that's why it's so wonderful that all of us connect in ways of spirituality. And that suffering, the storytelling and coaching you're doing, and all of us together is really the stories. And yes, David is proud of what you're doing, and we're proud of what David is inspiring us to do. We love you so much. We love you so much.
Thank you. I love you too, and Ollie too.
And
Oh, thank you. Love you all.
And we're sending our healing energy to Dr. Nelson and everyone out there every day, and telling the stories. In essence, the people who have passed before us or suffered or are suffering, they're heroes in some way. That they're suffering, and we've kind of, what do you think is that secret thing that you finally, went off in your head, Angela, that said, wait a minute, there's something different here going on?
You mean as far as my health and not having to take the pain medications anymore, or?
Yeah. I mean, finding the diet or recognizing the suffering as something that is opening up our eyes to something that's opposite.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of times, especially when I was diagnosed with arthritis at age 23, you're just like you're thinking, I'm too young for this. What's going on here? This is just not fair. I've tried to be active most of my life. I was on track team in high school. Been doing karate since I was 12. So I said, this is it, and it's not fair. And you could go. It's like two paths at that moment in time, right? You're like, I either got to change something, or it's just fate. So, and I try not to think, well, this is just fate. Let's just see if I can do something about it, right? So, and like I said, like the video said, my lifelong struggle with weight, because I'm still not where I want to be right now because my thyroid's all messed up. We're trying to get that straightened out. But I even have burning mouth syndrome right now with Dr. Kiltz. That is not very pleasant. Um, so hopefully we'll get that figured out pretty soon. But I had tried when Atkins first came out. I tried Atkins, and that was when, like back in 2002, when I went on back on low carb. I was like, well, Atkins worked when I was little, so maybe something like low carb will work again. So that was direction at that time I went, and like I did lose 97 pounds then.
Wow.
So, and I kept most of that off for several years until two years ago. So
So what do you think? I mean, managing. You mentioned managing our weight, and as if we're sort of here as a domesticated animal to be managed by some other entity or someone else.
well, yeah, because back then, everybody's calorie restriction. I mean, I lived on for years. I believe I messed up my metabolism doing it. I lived for years on 1,200 calories a day. Of course, no, we don't burn calories, but but everybody has an idea how much food that is, and so it's not a whole lot, and so um so um so I believe I've messed up my metabolism. We got an in-body scan at work, and we can use it whenever we want to. So I think that's really nice.
What's it called?
In-body,
What do they do?
it tells you like what percentage of your body is, fat, muscle, bone. Even to tell you what your resting metabolic rate is. And I thought that part was really interesting because it said 1,700 calories a day. Well, I eat minimum 2,300 calories a day now, and even when I was on lion diet in January, I'd eat up to 3,000 calories a day and still lose weight. So that's like the title of this live stream said, lion diet works best for me, and it does. Um, but I kind of have a little dilemma that I own a share of a dairy farm. So I do, so I do get the raw milk. I turn most of it into yogurt, but but I do get the raw dairy once a week.
Do you think your husband's suffering, your suffering, and all of our suffering is really aligned to a diet that's meant for sheep and not lions?
Well, I believe they do want to control us, and what better way to control you than to know if there's certain foods that will control us, right?
Is there is um, is there a way to break free? Maybe that's the simple question that we're asking each of us
Well,
here. And
I think that's what a lot of us are trying to do in our community. We have all the stories which are showing, you know, that they're wrong. We don't need vegetables in our diet. We don't. We can we can just live on animal products. We can just live on meat only, it like every time my mom will bring up a diet, she says, "You don't eat vegetables. Why don't you eat vegetables?"
Yeah. And this is again such a, our community, and what I love is that meat stock, wherever we're at, we run into our brothers and sisters who we see in our community. And it really is, I think, that community that is so powerful. And I was out dinner last night, and I met a gal who was telling her story about her son with celiac at age 14.
Mm-hmm.
And the resistance to a simple story and wanting to tell and stay with the complicated story. Are you noticing it out there as you're telling this story, as we're all telling this story, essentially, that there is a holdback, that the science, we've got to wait for the science to answer the question, but the stories in our communities are really doing it already.
Yes, it is. And you're just talking about meat stock. It was so nice meeting people I hadn't met before. I didn't get a chance to talk to Kelly Hogan. I wanted to, but every time it was either in the conference room or of course she's busy talking to somebody else. But I got to talk to Bella and Raymond and Dr. Baker as he was running out to catch his plane. But so at least I assume he flew. Um, but and I got to meet Joe and Rachel. I was so excited about that.
We love
Um,
them.
but you go there and you see what 15, 1,600 people there. It was like wow. And Saturday morning you couldn't find a seat. I was sitting in the floor. So me and Ted were sitting in the floor. So but yeah, I forgot where I was going with that.
Well, the meeting people and sharing these stories, it's sort of because there's benefits to paleo, to keto, to
Right.
Atkins, and all of these things are part of the conversation, along with carnivore, the Lion's Diet, or wherever you're at, and each person is sort of on that journey. I mean, I found Atkins, I don't know how many years ago, in Carnivore
I don't
15.
remember either.
Yeah, and it doesn't really matter, but the people's stories in the movies, the books, the daily podcasts, and I think that's one of the things that Alia and people like yourself and those people listening and watching, it's the storytelling of what were you had arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis. What other things did you suffer from?
Okay. I always forget one. Lupus, celiac, EDS. Oh grief.
Take your time. Depression is.
I forgot the other two.
And you were on opiates for a long time for pain?
Yes, I was on oxycodone for a long time, mainly so I could handle the pain mostly in my hips so I could sleep at night.
Well, and I must say, as a doctor in standard medicine for years, I, did everything I can to figure out why, but usually the fix was a non-steroidal, Tylenol, or an opiate-like substance, and even to the surgical removal of organs, including reproductive organs, thinking, this must be it. And there's like, well, we don't know, but here are the things that people are doing. And I look back at what I've done and feel horrible for many of the ways I've treated my patients, in the sense of I may have missed the mark in so many ways.
Right.
And
And I used to go to the pain center every 6 weeks for injections in my back. But I
Wow.
became allergic to the medication they were using in my back. So that had to stop. And the oxycodone made me itch so bad I would scratch the skin off my face in my sleep. And so that's why you might have seen the scars when you saw me at meat stock on both sides of my face because of me scratching so much.
inflammation, primarily from a plant-centric, protein, low-fat diet, which is our biggest problem. Do you want to get Jennifer Edwards' question up there, Ali?
Yeah, I do. Okay,
Please go,
Jennifer Edwards, what does the high-fat diet look like for you? In other words, do you eat a lot of butter, including fatty meat?
Well, I put butter in my coffee. And yesterday, if you want an example, 81% of my diet was fat.
What did you eat?
What I eat yesterday, I had butter in my coffee. I did have one glass of milk. I had beef. I picked up 8 pounds of beef fat from the butcher on Sunday. So
Oh,
I had
wow.
cooked all 8 pounds. Of course, it only made one big bowl once it cooked down. But I had beef fat trimmings for lunch, and I had a sirloin steak for dinner.
Oh, I love that.
Tell me a little bit about mindset, Angela, and how we can work on our mindset, because I think this is one of the challenges for all of us, and we get down, depressed. Do you have any things that you found or things that maybe can help improve my mindset?
Well, of course, I've read a lot. Of course, going through the coaching courses, I read a lot. um, and that's one thing I liked about your coaching courses is the mindset part. The other coaching course didn't go through. I don't remember them going through the mindset part. So that was nice. And um, I just I have my faith. I listen to Bible in a Year podcast. So I do get in the Word at least once a day, and I'm active in my church. I'm treasurer, and I'm buildings and grounds. So I'm always doing something for the church. Um, Plus I work full time. Plus I'm trying to get my coaching business started. So um, but what do they always say? If you want something done, ask a busy person, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, by the way, Phil Avati reached out to me. He has some openings for some coaches. We're offering coaching, system, making sure that it's all coaching. And that's the really magic around the globe. The more coaching we do, and faith in God. And I think churches and communities are important for all of us. In essence, this is a community. We need a treasurer, we need a president, we need a secretary, but we also need a community of just conversations, right?
Right. And Brian, you asking, do I meditate? I have in the past. Um, I don't really now. I don't have a lot of time. Like last night, I rushed home, cooked my steak, went back out because I did a Bible study at the juvenile detention center last night.
Oh,
How was
You
that? How was that?
The girls are really receptive. We have me and another lady that go to do the Bible study for the girls, and we have a group of men that go and do the Bible study with the boys, and we do it usually once a month. So next month maybe we can get a different date because the date that they usually have it scheduled for us is um the date when we'll be in the UK. meet up. So maybe we can set up a different date so we won't have to skip the entire month because the boys have multiple churches and different groups going in doing Bible studies with them, but the girls have not had anyone
Oh
going
wow.
in doing Bible studies for them since 2000. Well, 2020. They haven't had any women come in to do a Bible study with them. So if Kay and I do not do it, that doesn't get done.
Do you have to believe in God or be a religious to sit and have a Bible study conversation?
No, you can have a conversation with the girls about um well, Kay wants to get across self worth to
Hmm.
them.
Yeah.
To know that they're worth something, to know that they are loved, to know that there are people that care about them. And because, you think these kids are probably feeling like they don't matter, that they're not worth anything. So that's that's Kay's heart of, you know, stressing to them that they are worth something.
I found that mindset really was a big change for me when I found the concept of God within all of us and how our biblical teachings have been so powerful. But that self-talk, self-worth, self-talk. If we could learn the right talk to God, and God is love and God is within us, that helps us build up our worth. And it's not measured in money or degrees or again, self-worth is built even in the prisons. Oh, and we're all living imprisoned even though we're not in prisons.
Right. Yeah, yeah, to some degree, we all are. Um, you know, you have to be at work at a certain time because I'm usually late. Because I'm supposed to be at work at 7, but I'm still here listening to the live stream until 7, and then I head to work.
How important do you think is for people to go to work?
You you have to have a purpose. If you work for yourself or you work for someone else, you gotta have a purpose in your life. I wondered for years and years and years, what is my purpose? When I didn't die in the motorcycle accident I had in 2006, I was like, okay, Lord kept me here for a reason. I just got to figure out what that reason is.
What do you think the reason is actually just in the day-to-day mundaneness of life in some way?
Yeah, I mean, people you come in contact with that you work with or your family or anybody. I've had started conversations. Of course, usually they start them with me in the grocery line at the grocery store. Somebody turn around and say something, and it's, start a conversation.
Well,
And you don't know what that person's been through that day.
but it's usually a human experience. And since we kind of all have pain and suffering throughout our life, that is purpose and strengthening in some ways, because these are the stories that etch the grooves in the rock and give it character, and the lion's face shows up in some way, doesn't it?
Right. Now, I see Mando's asking where am I located. I'm in Central Virginia. And Christina Clark's about 30 minutes away from me. We have been talking
Oh,
about creating a small meetup here in Central Virginia. Probably just get some people together, go out to eat, and have conversation.
But that's what it really is about. These meetups is about conversation. And anyone, we are plant-centric eater, animal-centric eater, or middle of the road, where everyone's welcome. and for that conversation, the
Exactly.
carnivore conversation.
And Amanda wants to know how to contact me. You can go to my website, CoachAngelaMullins.com. It's really simple.
Everyone should have their own website, wouldn't you say?
Well, I've had a website forever, for many years. It's called Angie Story, and what I did was, when I started my coaching business, I got CoachAngelaMullins.com, and I linked together that LinkedIn page to my old website, so I have both of them. So I've got them meshed together. One links back and forth between the two.
And showing up, and that's why I love thankful to everyone just showing up, right? That's it. What's Red Piled Hunter have to ask?
Which type and how much dairy is acceptable, i.e. cheese, yogurt, milk?
Okay, sometimes I'll have a glass of milk during the day, which is usually a small coffee cup, which is about 300 milliliters, because I do weigh everything and put it in my app. That's how I could tell you how much I ate yesterday. I've been doing that since 2012, so I'm not going to stop. People say don't track, but I've been doing it since 2012, so it's just a habit for me, which I don't see any reason to stop, because I would chronically undereat if I didn't track, because sometimes I'll think, oh, I've had enough today. Oh, no, I haven't. I've eaten probably half of what I should have ate. So, and then yogurt, I don't have it every day. I might have it once a week. Depends on how much I end up with in the refrigerator. So I I do better if I do just Lion diet, because I did great in January when I did strict Lion. Of course, what I did was I took the milk that I got every week and I turned it into Kiltz's ice cream and put it in the freezer. So I have a stockpile. If my grandchildren say they want ice cream, I can get it out and soften it up, and they can have ice cream.
What are your thoughts about raw versus pasteurized milk products?
I chose to do the raw because of how people were talking about it. I hadn't done any dairy in years, and everybody was talking about you should try the raw dairy. Maybe you won't have and have an adverse effect to it, or whatever. And so I figured out here in Virginia, the way we can get raw dairy is you have to buy into part of a herd. So that's what I did.
And if you haven't read Pottinger's Cats, I recommend it. But basically, raw milk, raw meat is healthier than cooked meat and pasteurized milk. And,
Right.
And
I have not been able to eat the raw meat yet. No, kind of rare, yes, but not raw.
well, if you do it black and blue, we were at Mirbeau last night, and they had one tomahawk, because they do a lot of sous vide now, and I'm like, I can't do that. But they made this tomahawk black and blue. It was so perfect, salt and butter, loved it. And I did have a few of their fries with a lot of sour cream and salt and the grease from the steak. Good, but
yeah. Last night when I made my steaks real quick before I went back out, I used butter and salt. Yes, it was good.
Yeah. And it's adding the fat, and raw fat is better. That's why raw milk, raw butter, raw cream, raw cheeses are better than pasteurized. But we're breast milk for a baby. Adults, too much milk products isn't in our best interest. And our weight doesn't matter unless you're skinny and there's a famine. Fat on our bodies should be honored. I think we need to judge our bodies with pure love always. 600 pounds, 200 pounds, 100 pounds. Honor it with love. Number 1, as you think, so shall ye be. I think that's it. Is that in the Bible?
Yeah,
Angela?
I believe it is. Yep.
And those Bible studies, how important do you think it is for all of us? Whatever Bible you've raised on, there's a story there that your great grandmother or father knew was true.
Yes.
I
I see a question, especially from Amanda here. Are you sensitive to histamines? Yes, very much so.
Aren't we all sensitive to histamines? Because histamines are released from mast cells to incite inflammation, to cure whatever is happening, right? And I got my Michigan cup, by the way. And this is a gift. I got to show this real quick from Heather about fertility journeys and Barron. And she gave me a beautiful Michigan cup. But ultimately, when was the last time the New England Journal of Medicine wrote an article on Jesus Christ?
Probably never.
Here's interesting. How many of the men and women that are on the boards and write the articles for those journals are actually spiritual and religious? Most.
We don't know, right? Because
most humans are spiritual or religious. And even if they say, well, I don't believe in God, but I believe in a higher power, I think that's the term God that humans use for the higher power.
Yes.
Which is in all of us. And Kiltz was off coffee for 2.5 years, but he's back on it. Look out.
Yeah. I was off of coffee for a while, and of course I didn't do coffee when I did Lion in January, and I can do without it, but it's my butter transport system.
Mine too. I use Butter Boy from Wegmans, which is French butter. And I was walking through Tops to pick up something yesterday, and I was actually in awe at the amazing amount of different products that human beings could consume and live on. And we're
stuff you can consume and live, but doesn't mean you're going to live it abundantly.
I agree. But since at one point the biggest suffering was hard to find food and difficulty and things, so I don't think the intent in making those products was let's kill everybody, right? You don't want to do that because you want to make them maybe dependent on the medical system, because if everyone died, it would be bad news, right? We got to keep them alive and needing the domestication. But I was still in awe at look at the ingenuity of so many human beings around the globe. But the only place I require is the butcher, and I do go for some of the milk products and eggs.
Yeah, Joe and Rachel are doing the challenge this month. I haven't done too good on that challenge. They wanted you to add 2 eggs a day to whatever you're eating, and I did it for a few days when I got back from meat stock, but I kind of fell off.
Why add 2 eggs to every meal?
Not every meal. Every day to add 2 extra eggs.
Okay.
I don't know why they decided to do that challenge, but whatever.
Well, I mean, I do eggs sometimes. I do a lot of again, it's ribeye. But I'll do ground beef. I get some raw ground beef. I put an egg yolk in it on our morning, I think on our 5:30 this week. And I just put salt and I ate it. Raw beef, raw egg, and salt. And it was like amazing. I think when you're raw fatty meat is like the best. The best. Where do you get your meat, Angela?
I get well, like I told Bart when we did our interview the other week. I said, well, I went to the grocery store the other day because I didn't have anything thawed out. I thawed that out my freezer. But I order grass-fed, grass-finished beef and lamb from Polyface Farm here in Virginia. They mail order, a wide range. So if anybody wants to order from them, that they do regenerative farming here in kind of north central Virginia and well northwestern Virginia, I guess more so. And I also order from Good Ranchers. Theirs is grain finished, but I order from them also. So most of my meat gets delivered to the house, and that saves me time from having to run to the grocery store.
It's so we have easy, right?
Yes, we
It's
do.
so easy. I was just on Why Buying Direct from a Rancher Matters, Jeff from 3C Jumping Cattle, and it's got this beautiful 8-bone rib roast with all the fat, and that's again we could. I got Wegmans the other day. I got cream, eggs, butter, cheese, and some salami. So good, and it was just pure meat and fat salami. Nothing else. It's so good. So simple, the opportunities we have today. And are you still riding your motorcycle?
Yes, all three of them.
All right.
We were on a Zoom call one night, and I was outside washing my motorcycle during the Zoom call, and I said, "Hey, I want to show off my bike." So I held up my phone to show off my bike. I said, "I just washed it." I took my husband's Harley Ultra and converted it to a trike after he died. I figured that'd be my last motorcycle. I still have my Harley Ultra, and I have my daughter's Kawasaki. So I'm like, okay, which one I want to ride today? So when I talk about riding my bike, everybody, it's my motorcycle, not the bicycle.
What's
I've
it? So,
got, I've probably got more money invested in those bikes than anything else in my life. But
why do
yeah,
you ride bikes and what?
I enjoy them. I enjoy going out riding with my ministry. I'm in a motorcycle ministry, and that's how we got into doing the Bible studies. So we use our motorcycles as a ministry tool because people come up to you and say, "Nice bike," and you can start a conversation. You can bring
Yeah,
Jesus into the conversation to spread the word about Jesus. And yep,
Christ
that's
Carnivore.
race for.
Christ Carnivore. We're really spiritual beings, and
Yeah,
God. I think God is always first, and the thing that I love to talk about, no matter what your religion is or non-religion, whether you don't believe in where you believe in God or not, it's still a philosophical human conversation.
exactly.
Papa has a question.
Yeah, Papa has a question. Are human bodies the exact same as that of a cat? Dr. Kiltz.
Yeah, that's
Well,
how to answer
well,
that one.
well,
We
well,
already know that.
we're more like a cat than a cow, and we're more like a cat than a pig. Although it's interesting about pigs, or actually we're probably equally, but basically the story of cats gives us a story of why I think so many humans and even carnivores are still sick is because the cooked meat is not the same. It's kind of like burning your wood before you build your house with it. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. My one of my cats loves raw chicken. She'll beg for it every morning to be sure I remember to give her raw chicken. My puppy is picky. I buy him raw food from Canine, and it came yesterday. I gotta space that out a little bit more because my little pup doesn't eat as much as they end up sending me. My freezer ends up full of his food more than mine. But he doesn't always like it raw. So I take it and dehydrate it and give it to him. And then they don't eat it. I don't understand it.
Brian, to all of you, what was your first thing that improved on carnivore?
Brain.
Brain. Mind.
Yes, yeah, the brain fog. Yeah, the brain fog was horrible.
Auto brewery syndrome.
Right.
Microbes love a carnivore diet because it's mostly lean meat, cooked, fermentable proteins, and sugar. And so ultimately, again, when you cook your meat, you render out the fat and you're left with fermentable amino acids and sugars, which are alcohol producing. So I found the brain fog went away, just like yours, Angela.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get a ride on your bike, by the way?
The what?
Can we get a ride on the trike?
Yeah. I do not ride anyone on two wheels anymore because I will be overly cautious and I'll make stupid mistakes. So but all my trike, oh yes, I'll take anybody riding on my trike. At least I don't have to worry about dropping it, right? Oh, I was in a before I turned my husband's into a trike. I was over at the orthopedic doctor, and I do have handicap tags on my bikes. So I was going to go and park in one of the handicap spots, and there wasn't one available. So I went to go around to find another parking spot. And people, you cannot stop on a motorcycle in the curve. I had this lady pull around from the other direction and block me going around the curve. And of course, I had to stop and couldn't get the bike straightened up fast enough, and over I went. And so, of course, there's my pride, right?
Yeah.
And several people were like, "Are you okay? Do you need help?" I'm like, "Well, this motorcycle weighs almost 1,000 pounds, and I'm allowed to lift 30. So yes."
Can you lift this bike off of me?
Well, the bike didn't fall on me. I rolled, karate. I rolled away from the bike and got up and turned around and looked at the bike like, great. Now I got to figure out how to get this up. But several people came over. Even a man with one arm came over to help me get the bike up.
Humans are out there to help others. All of us. Mm-hmm. All of us. Like some guy haunted me yesterday, just sat on that horn to help me. He was helping me. It was like, don't back up anymore. You're going to hit me. Yes, there are seats.
Yes, there are seats. And I put the link in the chat.
Awesome.
Come on. Everyone's welcome. Come on over. It's going to be fun. A fun barbecue.
And I'll be in England, Australia, South Africa. There's the Meet My Maker, I think There's another one maybe in July I might go to. I'll be with
Oh wow.
Bella July 4th. I was invited my friend Sante's wedding in Spain on the 3rd. I don't think I can make it and get to other stuff. And but connecting for Christ and carnivore is our
That's how that's how
commitment.
it should. I wanted to tell you I will see you in the UK. I will be there, and I will be at Low Carb for Better Health. So I'll see you there too.
And I'm grateful to everyone that shows up, makes comments, shares the wisdom and the words, because without everyone together, we can't do it. Can't do it. Yeah, brain fog. Meeting wellness, it is radical. It is so crazy radical. Very radical. Faith first, fatty meat second, and go to work. Share the word. I think that's really the most amazing thing. It's philosophy, it's community, it's a conversation, and ultimately for all those people suffering in prisons, and my father was there. I was almost there, and who knows tomorrow? Don't know. He might.
I mean, you have to be thankful for today. I have 3 aneurysms, so I'm like, I try to plan, I got things planned out what I want to do, but ultimately I'm not in control.
Yeah, he is. Well, I went to Dr. Berkery the other day, great cardiologist. I did my treadmill test. The gal who did the stress test echo has one baby from me and then another baby, naturally carnivore. And then I ran into someone last night at one of my clients at out, and she said, well, Dr. Kiltz had failed with you twice, and then we did your hardcore carnivore, and voila, baby.
Wow.
Maybe.
Mhm.
But it was faith first. And I think it's the faith, which is the spirit of the unknown. And that ultimately, we have, we don't feel worthy, Angela. Was that what you were saying about so many of the,
Right.
what can we do to fix our worthy problem?
I think you need people to reach out to let the people that think they're not worthy to tell them and show them that they are. And you can't just tell them. I mean, you got to show them.
Walk the walk and talk the talk.
Right.
But it ultimately it's an experiential, right? And
Yes.
wouldn't you say that? Well, I use prayer and meditation as the same thing, and even our conversations are meditative, and they're prayers because every thought you think has a vibrational energy. It's like a note that string of the notes of life, right?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. Yeah. You can have thoughts, positive or negative.
right?
You know.
Always negative thoughts or always positive thoughts, right? Apartments or ants, and focus on the apartments, the always positive thinking, which is really the prophets, right?
Right.
What type of work do you do, Angela? Could you share that? Is that something?
I'm a software engineer.
So how important is it is it always engineering, always changing in the software industry?
What I do, no. I have been doing this since the year 2000.
Awesome.
So I've been doing it for 26 years now. I've
Do you
been
love
with
what you?
I've been with the company I'm with right now for 10 years. So I went there 10 years ago, and I'm trying really hard to. I want to get my coaching business going because I that's my retirement plan. I've decided I always thought I'd be stuck at a desk until I died. Um, I've decided I want to not sit at the desk 9, 10 hours a day every day. So, and I've always wanted to work for myself. I've done multiple jobs trying to work for myself. And Rick loved this one. I even tried to sell World Book encyclopedias at one time.
Woo, yeah, I love World Encyclopedias.
And I actually still have my parents' set of World Book encyclopedia and Childcraft.
I think
But
Rick has them
oh,
too.
also, Yellow Rose had a question about when I
Oh,
was when we were going to meet up. That's the one in June. Um, but and I taught karate, and I um I sold Herbalife for a while, and DoTerra and Damsel in Defense, women in the United States, because I only in the United States and only in certain states, I sell self-defense items for women.
ah,
Well, they're geared towards women. The men could use them too, but it's mainly stun gun and pepper spray, and then it has information to keep your children safe.
which is important to do. Winn-Dixie grocery store, 7 a.m. Buy ribeyes, New York strip sale, $7.99 a pound. Awesome, awesome. And sharing the wisdom, right? That's what we're all here to do, right? The meat mission.
Yep.
I love baked beef bacon. I love it too. Publix. Again, we're putting it out there. Kiltz Mighty Tribe is free for everyone. We can connect with each other there, share your stories, build out the community. And the more we do that, the more we connect around the globe to helping people heal.
Yeah.
That's really it.
That's right. Amanda wanted to know if you will be in Montello for the June 6th Healing Humanity premiere.
No. I'm leaving a few days after that to go to UK.
I think I'll be there, right, Ollie?
You have to be there.
Yes, you will.
I'll be there. And I'm also going to work to get out to London for Meet My Maker. Could you check with Patrick Mooney, Alia, the dates of that?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right. Any last minute things you want to share with us, Angela?
Like I said, I already covered my whole life story.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we invite everyone to come on, by the way, everyone. And maybe we should do some evenings also to get everyone's story up there, and Alia do a movie of each of us.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to meet everyone. Amanda, Cheryl, thank you. Awesome.
I'm hoping that Jonathan's gonna be able to just to attend when I'm there in June, so I can meet Jonathan.
All right, everyone.
All right.
Blessings
Thanks for
all.
being here.
We'll see you on Monday. I'm supposed to be out at 10 o'clock on Sunday. We'll see what happens. I may move my Sundays. I don't know. I'm working on it. It's my day for God and faith and conversation.
Yes. Yeah, I'm usually listening to you as I'm driving to church.
Awesome. All right, everybody.
Bye,
Love
everybody.
you.
Bye.